Well, kids, I'm just doing my yearly call to the North Pole for Santa's holiday health check.
We've paid for this. We paid for this.
Why, hello, Dr. Tam.
Mrs. Claus, so good to see you again. Where did Santa go?
Oh, Santa was late for snow yoga with the elf and reindeer. He says it's great cross training for sleigh driving.
This is real life.
Sounds fun. Are you all set for the holiday season?
Of course, I must say, Dr. Tam, it just warms my heart to see everyone in Canada, especially kids, working so hard to keep the holidays safe and cheerful for all.
So am I, Mrs. Claus.
Especially kids. They've got to throw the kids in there because it's all about the kids. Especially the kids doing what Big Brother says they should do. You'll let me know how my audio is afterwards. New setup here. Let's just continue with the.
Claus, every child in Canada has definitely earned a place on the nice list. Their parents and caregivers, too. It's been a tough season with lots of viruses making people sick.
Thankfully, Santa and I are feeling as healthy as ever.
It's been a tough season with many viruses making people sick. It's also known as winter. Just setting that out there, Dr. Tam. This is reality. This is what the Canadian government has decided it was good to do, a good use of money to do. Let's just finish it. We got to finish it. And then we're not done.
We are both up to date with our vaccinations, including COVID boosters and flu shots.
That's so good to hear.
I always tell Santa to make a list and check it twice.
This is not a joke. This is not propaganda. This is not a satire of propaganda from an era of 50 years ago. This is 4 days ago. Get your boosters and your updated vaccines. That's, by the way, for those of you who don't know, Dr. Theresa Tam, Canada's Chief Public Health Officer. That, apparently, Dr. Tam is Canada's top doctor. And this is government propaganda, taxpayer subsidized propaganda of the insidious nature imaginable. Carry on.
1. Stay up to date on your vaccinations. 2. Wear a mask in crowded indoor places and make sure it fits nice and snug. 3. Wash your hands to the tune of jingle, jingle all the way.
How much is left of this?
Great advice.
Great advice.
Great voice, too. Also, you can be sure to stay at home if you're feeling sick.
Stay at home.
And if you're gathering indoors with other
Listen
people
to this.
or elves, open a door or a window for a few
I'm sorry, did she say other people or elves?
people or elves, open a door or a window for a few minutes at a time to let in some fresh air. The more items you check off the list, the more protected you are.
Yes, you can think of it like decorating a tree. You need tinsel, lights, ornaments, and the star on top. The tree is at its best when all the decorations are up and nicely layered.
Thanks, Mrs. Claus. Happy holidays, everyone.
Paid for by you. You paid for it twice, by the way. You paid for it with your soul and your freedom, and you also paid for it with your money. Oh, okay, people. I'm not saying that I'm locked in some form of a gulag. I'm not. You may notice the wonderful studio behind me. I'm in Canada. It's cold. I'm in a house that has 23 people in it, immediate family members, and that's not even all of our entire family. I had to find a quiet spot. So I locked myself in this room, which is barely heated. I put some towels on the window behind me so I can keep it quiet and so that people are not going to peer into the back and try to photobomb. And I'm using these headphones, which are Bose noise canceling headphones, and I don't like the noise canceling aspect to it. It feels like my ears are bubbling and I feel a little disoriented. Yes, I'm visiting family. Oh, just let me know how the audio is. Let me know the video. I'm going to look pale because I've got a harsh front light, but it's good. Got some icicles to my left. It's been nearly a week. Last time we went live was the last day of the Kari Lake trial. I was in transit, it was a 4.5 hour delayed flight, Air Canada, but it allowed me to live stream the Kari Lake trial. Went to the airport, following the trial, did an interview with Steve Bannon in the war room from the airport, and that was day 2 of the trial. Let me just see here. I'm going to go to the chat. Okay, the echo is echoey. Let me see if I can go to audio. God, I hate these noise canceling thing. Audio. Well, I got the echo cancellation is good. Sounds tinny. I suspect that's just the headphones. And the room has a mattress and some sheets, so the room is not echoey by its nature. But oh, how everyone's holiday? How has everyone's Christmas been? Apparently, it's an act of defiance to say Merry Christmas. You have to say Happy Holidays if you don't want to be whatever. Okay, so came back to Canada. Sure as sugar, got a cold. Nothing bad, although my goodness, we have forgotten what winter is about. It's about germs. It's about getting sick. It's about meeting with friends and family, and everybody gets sick at the same time. That's what winter in Canada is, has always been, and will always be. But we've been weaponized, or sorry, we have now been traumatized to think that a sniffle, go into isolation, your holiday's over. Audio not fine. Okay, let's do a test here. So like I said, audio fine, audio not fine. If I go audio USB live computer, is the audio better now or before? Better now, give me a 1. Better before, give me a 2. Let's see what we get here. Audio is like you're in a box. Do we like the audio now? 1. Before, 2. Better? Everyone says way better. Okay, good. You know what? I'm taking these headphones off because I don't like these Bluetooth things. How do I turn this off? Oh yeah, those are better. Much better, much better. Sound titty before. Okay, good. Let's do this. We'll get this all set up. We should be live, by the way, on Rumble as well. You'll notice, people. Let me just see, make sure the audio is better. If you meant to say buggy, Mark, I'm on an internet connection. We lost power yesterday. Canada still has, I don't know how many, tens of thousands of households without power. There were nearly 500,000. I'm exaggerating on the high end. There were 400,000 households in Ontario and Quebec without power because of the storm. And meanwhile, we're going to get into our second intro rant of the day. Our government is just pushing out disgusting, despicable government propaganda that is paid for by our taxpayer dollars. But before we get into any of that, everybody, it is genuinely good to see you. A week off, it's not that I feel naked. I feel alone. I mean, I'm with family and I love it. And I know it might be indicative of an addiction of sorts or a compulsion. I love streaming. I'm watching the news trickle by and I'm like, can't talk about it. But we've lined it up for today and it's going to be a good one. Good to see you all. Merry Christmas. If you celebrate Hanukkah, Happy Hanukkah. New Year's, if you celebrate it, Happy New Year's. There is no sponsor for today's video, but there are super chats, which is sort of like a crowd sponsorship. And I thank you all for it. Florida Dad. Everybody should know, by the way, we're live streaming on Rumble. YouTube takes 30% of super chats. Rumble has a Rumble rant equivalent. They take 20% of it. So better for the creator, better for the platform, better all around. I don't get to read all of them. So if you're going to be miffed, if I don't read your super chat or Rumble rant, don't give it. I don't want people feeling miffed. Don't we know from storybooks who the woman in the forest with a house made of candy is? Florida Dad? I know. I get the reference. Drew Breezy. This is the very definition of terrorism, inflicting fear through the use of harm or violence. Children aren't vulnerable to the virus. Children can't opt out from Santa Claus. They use the holidays to target children. It used to be there's rules about, direct marketing of pharmaceuticals. It also used to be there are rules against direct marketing to children. It seems that the government has gone from being the government to being the biggest pusher of big pharma, direct marketing directly to children, shamelessly and disgusting. Thank you for the super chat. Does Canada feel like home after being in Florida? It still feels like home. I still love winter. I'm planning the afternoon activities. We're going to smash icicles. We're going to clear some snow. And we're going to kick some trees down because the trees have like I'm looking at it. They look like cupcakes. And when you kick the tree, all the snowfall, winter's beautiful. Canada is still home, even if the government has turned it into a form of prison, which they have. Speaking of which, so on the menu for today, by the way, Kari Lake, we're going to go over it, not in thorough detail. If you want thorough detail walking through all of the pleadings,
check out Robert Gouvea's live stream, Watching the Watchers from yesterday. We're going to go over the news and the updates and the executive summary, plus a bit of the highlights. We're going to go over that. I'm going to get to more of Canada's absolute madness from Justin Trudeau, taxpayer-subsidized government propaganda, direct marketing to children. Pleb, for those of you who don't know him, Pleb the truck driver on Twitter is going to be on, I think, towards 11 o'clock. We're going to talk about some fun stuff, which is invariably going to segue into Canadian journalism and the insanity of our time. And what else do we have on the menu? We'll get there. I've got, some Rachel Levine, Admiral Rachel Levine, talking more government censorship. And once upon a time, when people said they're coming for your children, and those people were called conspiracy theorists, they're literally coming for your children now. Literally. We'll get there. Robert is awesome. I concur. Now, by the way, let's just see if we're still green lighted here. I think we've been good thus far. Refresh. We're still green. Oh, and by the way, I'll plug the merch afterwards because Robert is indeed awesome. Let me see here. Gilmore works for the NDP. Pleb works for small PP. Okay. Oh, I'm going to talk to Pleb today about his idea that if you vote for the People's Party of Canada, you're wasting your vote. Yada yada. Everybody has the obligation to vote Conservative. We're going to talk about it. We're not done with the Canadian insidious propaganda yet. If you wanted to, clear your palate, or I should say, empty your stomach, let's look at this piece of propaganda. They laugh at you while they abuse you. You remember that video a while back of Omar Algebra refusing to take a question from Rebel Media journalist, the guy who looks like Neo from The Matrix. And the journalist from Rebel News is following Omar Algebra from Parliament to wherever he parked his car, asking him questions. And Omar Algebra, almost like a broken, defective robot of a human, refuses to answer the question, refuses to acknowledge that he's being asked a serious question about politics from, whether he likes the media outlet or not, a real, and I say respected and respectable media outlet, Rebel News. Susan, hi, how are you doing today? I'm glad you're doing fine. If you haven't seen the video, maybe I'll pull it up after I pull this up. That Omar Algebra. Well, he and Justin Trudeau decided this was a good reflection of Canada. Hold on, let me just turn the volume down here because I don't think we need it quite that high. Look at Justin Trudeau. This is his lifelong goal come true. He's an actor. Acting. Look at this guy. So he's a legend in his own mind. All he ever wanted to do was be Keanu Reeves. He wanted to be John Wick. He's a bona fide, and I say this with respect to drama teachers, but typically they don't go on to become prime ministers without having accomplished something that would qualify them for the position in their lives, other than having the last name Trudeau and having a father who, by all accounts, destroyed Canada almost as much as Justin Jr. This is all he ever wanted in life, was to be an action hero, movie star. Look at him. Looking at his wife. He's acting. First of all, anybody else want to puke right now? Look at all. Okay, no, I'm not going to make fun of. Oh, look at him. Blue steel. Trudeau, this is your moment to shine. Intense. Needs more intensity, to quote Lost in Translation.
Omar.
Justin, you really have to channel John Wick here.
It's time.
Omar, the most useless minister of transport for reasons we're going to see in a bit. Oh, but he can act. By the way, it is fitting that this government is exemplified by dark, dingy basement dealings, because that's pretty much what the government is. This particular government in particular. Oh, yes. Ho, ho, ho. Oh, they thought of everything. Yeah, I'd say this represents the Trudeau government. Morons. Can we all appreciate somebody paid for this, and it was me in part, and it was you in part. That we paid for this twice with our money and our freedom. Oh. This is actually making me sick and angry to watch, but we have to suffer together in order to rejoice in the good stuff, I guess. The number should have been 666 if it's supposed to represent anything. Oh. How much is left? I mean, this is the longest 2 minutes of my life. Wait for it. This is Canada. This is our government.
Santa is cleared for travel in Canadian airspace. He's coming. Merry Christmas, happy holidays, and stay safe.
Stay safe. Live in fear. When someone says stay safe, some people are right to think that's a threat. Oh my gosh. That's Canada. Stay safe. Envision emblazoned Big Brother's eyes. Big Brother's watching. Hold on one second. Let me see this here. Just got back from Rumble. I learned I could get fake eyebrows from Justin Trudeau. Will you use them someday? Yes. Suffer and then do like Mark Dice. Do a digital detox. Are my eyebrows bad? I know people who have gotten eyebrow tattoos. I know Justin Trudeau has his eyebrow issue. I think it must be, his soul eating at him for everything that he's done to our beautiful, beautiful country. Let me refresh on Rumble and see what we're doing here, because we are going to Rumble exclusively very shortly. How long have we been streaming for? That's what's going on in Canada, everybody. We don't have enough money for the healthcare system. We don't have enough money to properly care for our infirmed, for our terminally ill, for our mentally ill. So much so that we're offering them to end their lives under medical assistance and dying. And it'll save us some money. Yet we have hundreds of millions of dollars to ship out to fund foreign conflict while the East Coast rebuilds from a hurricane, while nearly 500,000 households were out of power. Oh, that was the kicker in the teeth. Omar Alghabra is the Minister of Transport of Canada. For those of you who don't know what just happened recently in Canada, we had a storm that put a lot of people out of power. National Post, CN Rail, 18 hours. We had we had a storm that put a lot of people out of power. And at one point, there were some issues with CN Rail. CN Rail is our railways, the cross Canada rail thingy thing. People were stuck in a train car on the rails for 18 hours. 18 hours. So while our government is putting together highly edited government propaganda targeting children for the jibby jab, I don't know what the heck that Trudeau Alghabra thing was. They're utterly failing at their actual job, which is, I don't know, making sure that people are not stuck in a train car on a rail for 18 hours. Listen to this. Let me make sure this is right. This is not the article that I had before, so I'll read this for the first time. But the other one was unacceptable. Transport Minister critiques Via Rail situation as Christmas Day trains canceled. He canceled it. Sorry, Omar Alghabra criticized it the day after people were stuck in a rail car on the rails for 18 hours. He was too busy making Christmas propaganda. Listen to this. Canada's transport minister took aim at Via Rail. Oh, he's coming down hard. On Saturday, after some passengers were left stranded overnight on stalled trains following the recent winter storm. Riders have reported being stuck for as long as 18 hours. That's a nightmare. I mean, that's a nightmare to me. The Crown Corporation says several trains on the Quebec City-Windsor corridor have been immobilized or canceled due to extreme weather conditions. What's Omar Alghabra doing? Don't worry, Santa's coming, kids. A travel alert posted on Via Rail's website Saturday says as many as 24 trains have been canceled. Forget canceled. At least you get to stay where you are. 18 hours stranded in a car on the rails. And what does Omar Alghabra do? The next day, he says it's unacceptable. The Minister of Transport, utterly failing Canadians, failing at his job. But my goodness, they put out good Christmas time propaganda at taxpayer dollars. A traveler posted, yeah, doesn't matter. We can go over it later. Although we're not going to go over it later. Let's just... The current situation with Via Rail is unacceptable, and we are in contact with them to resolve all issues of safety and efficiency. Federal Transport Minister Omar Alghabra said in a Twitter statement. Let's see what that Twitter statement said, shall we? Oh, my goodness. Whoops. The current situation with Via Rail is unacceptable, and we're in contact with them to resolve all issues safely and efficiently. The unprecedented weather. Unprecedented? It's Canada, Omar. In our transportation system, and the safety of passengers and crew is our top priority. Then where were you for the 18 hours while they were stranded between Quebec and Windsor corridor in a rail car on the rail station? You couldn't gather an evacuation of sorts, get some buses in there? Oh my goodness. Why don't you just ask Santa Claus to fix it, you jackass? Sorry, I meant to put in that meme from Happy Gilmore. You will not make this putt, you jackass. Yeah, call Santa Claus. I mean, you're in touch with Santa Claus. Let me see here. Gabby, what does he say? I have to say, Viva, I have watched you from the beginning, and your transformation has been glorious to watch. Enjoy your cursing. Even your cursing puts a smile on my face. Keep doing what you're doing. So thank you. Although I don't like cursing, but my goodness, sometimes there's no way around it. It's unacceptable. Tweets the Minister of Transport about a problem of transport the day after the problem has been resolved by natural causes, I guess. Hold on. Let me, before I'm going to star some super chats. And let me just put the link to, oh my gosh, sorry. The audio just blasted my ear. Link to Rumble. Forgot to put that. I know I always forget to do something. Link to Rumble, because we're going to head over there exclusively in a few seconds. My goodness, the chat's moving fast. Did I put slow mode on? Where is the link to Rumble? Okay, hold on. Link to Rumble, and then I'm going to pin it. Link to Rumble. Sorry, people. I'm not in my studio, so I don't have all the amenities that I'm accustomed to of an empty room. Pin message. There we go. And we're going to go over to Rumble in 3 or 4 minutes. Are you stuck, Viva? No, we're not. This was our plan. We were lucky to have gotten to where we want, to our end destination for the holidays. But the power went out yesterday. We thought we were going to have an evacuation of sorts as well. To whoever, I was on Twitter and I said, I've locked myself in this room. If I don't have what I need for this stream, I'm not going to have it. And then someone said, did you pee, Viva? I can always pee one more time to make sure my bladder is totally empty, and I didn't. And now I have to pee because someone said it and it's in my mind. Let me get here. Let me get to some Rumble rant, some super chat before we go over to Rumble. Dude, I'm really tired of people expecting the government to save everyone from every situation. People need to learn to prepare, not rely on 911. Planet Fatness, thank you for the super chat, and I like your avatar. You must have a YouTube channel. You're right in principle, except when you have surrendered yourself to crown corporations with federal jurisdictions, such as interprovincial transport. Once you're on an airline, once you're on a rail car and you're under some sort of federal jurisdiction, crown corporation, you have not surrendered yourself to a private corporation, but you sort of surrendered yourself to a crown corporation. And when they can't do their job that they were elected to do, and in the interim, all they do is piss around and show how virtuous they are on social media, putting out taxpayer-funded propaganda, we're entitled to get angry that the government is not doing the job that they were hired to do. It's like that scene from Kill Bill. What you're telling me is that you can't do the job that I'm paying you to do? Mutatis mutandis. Homies Jack says, hey, now, I'm in Florida and we've been in the 20s and 30s. That may not be Canadian cold, but it's hella freezing over here. It's ironic. We left Florida for the iguana falling levels cold. I wanted to be there for the iguana falling cold. Crypto Lawyer on Twitter DM'd me and he says, Viva, next week, iguanas are going to be falling from trees. Sure enough, I'm not in Florida to see it, but it'll happen again this year. Was the whole point of that debacle that Santa was cleared through Canadian airspace? That's horrible, but at least they didn't spew more nonsense. I don't know what the point of it was. Jay Wayne, thank you for the $1 rant. Let me see $1 super chat. Viva, get a hold of yourself. Okay. So that's that. Let me see what's going on Rumble. Have I missed anything? No, we're a good crowd on Rumble. 4,300 on the nose right now, and we're 2,600 here. So we should be close to 6,500 by the time we mosey on over. I saw another super chat. I hope you didn't mean to put a comment in there. Super sticker, thank you very much. Lise Von Zamet, Mexican $650. It's not Canadian $650, people. Okay, let's do it now because let me preview what we're going to look at while we get. We're going to get into the pregnant people stuff, people. Oh my goodness. Then we're going to get into the Kari Lake. We're going to do Kari Lake, pregnant people. Thinking maybe we wait off on the pregnant people until Plebs, somebody you might never have heard of, but who's putting out great content, great analysis, great satire. Might talk about the pregnant people with him because it's going to segue from Chief Medical Officer to Admiral Levine to Rachel Gilmore and Canadian politics. Let's mosey on over to Rumble, people. Link over here. We're going to do Kari Lake lawsuit and the latest. And it's going to be an overview. We're not diving into the weeds of the filings. I don't think we need to. And I don't think people want to. I think we just need to know what's going on and where it's at. So while everyone does that, is Plebs in the chat? I don't know. Welcome home, Viva. Thank you very much. Who's on first? Okay, let's do it. Everybody, we're going to end it on YouTube. Mosey on over to Rumble. Have I forgotten anything before we do that? You know what? Before we do that, VivaFry.com. Let's just do a reminder for everyone. Shameless plug. I don't have a sponsor for today's video, except myself. Look at this, Viva Fry. The merch store, we have now more stuff at the merch store. Viva Fry. I'm wearing the avatar, the logo avatar. The internet's very slow. Am I going to push my luck here? Shirts, people. It's not as cheap as I would like it to be. And there's a lot of knockoff websites out there that are selling the exact stuff that we're selling. Like our hard work. Just steal the logo and put on. And I don't know how to chase these sites down. I'm not sure if it's worth the time. But if you want some merch, people, VivaFry.com is the place to go get it. And oh, we're talking Brendan Miller as well when Pleb gets on. Okay, let's do it. Mosey on over to Rumble, ending it on YouTube. Everybody, you have the link. It's in the pinned comment. We're going to end on YouTube in 3, 2, 1.